hate when my camera moves. Okay. Hi, lovelies. My name is Jessica, and welcome to Makeup.misfit. Who's ready for makeup collection videos? Because I know I am. I have been binge watching eyeshadow palette collection declutters for what feels like quite a while now. And I've been so excited to sit down and film this, but I've been waiting until after Christmas just to see if anything was going to come into my collection. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be in 4 installments. Now I'm only going to do this one, which is blush, bronzers, and highlighters. I'm going to do my face palettes, which is going to be anything that's a duo plus. I will be doing my eyeshadow singles, and then last but not least, the most anticipated one, the one that everybody loves to watch, eyeshadow palettes. I'm not going to do lipsticks unless you guys want to see that. Let me know and I will sit down and film a video for you guys. I don't have any intention of doing it right now, but if it is something you want to see, let me know, and I can definitely do that for you. And the rest of the stuff like foundations, base products, eyeliners, mascaras, that stuff I just don't really count towards my makeup collection because it's just, one, either I use it daily and it's just stuff that is a staple, more or less. So I don't count that as like my fun makeup products. Those things I use on a daily basis, even though I use these on a daily basis. Those for just, they're a completely separate thing in my mind. So I don't count those towards my makeup collection. Just the things that I'm going to chat about. This was originally going to be separated into 3 different videos, but I decided to throw my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters just into one, which I think for me is just going to be a little bit easier. And because my bronzer collection is so small, I figured it would just make sense to throw everything together instead of doing a couple-minute video on just bronzers. So with that being said, I think that's everything that I wanted to mention. If anything comes to mind, I'll throw it down in the description box, but I believe that's everything that I wanted to note. Also, this is only going to be in the front of this video. I'm not going to throw it out in the rest of them, but I will have a playlist down below. Whoa, my camera just moved. Okay. I will have a playlist down below that is going to have all of my makeup collection from this year. Also, that is something else I wanted to mention. This is not going to be an inventory video, so I'm not going to compare anything to last year. I'm not really going to count numbers. If you guys want to see or want to know what my numbers are, let me know and I can throw those down in the description box. That's not a big deal. But for myself, I'm just not really going to compare anything to last year, and I'm not going to count anything right now. I'm just not too worried about it at the moment. So I think that's it. Playlist down below. You can go check out all of the other videos when you feel. Not an inventory, just a collection, and I think that's it. Okay. So with all of that being said, let's get into this. So first we're going to start off with bronzers just because, like I said, it is the smallest out of my collection. So we are going to start with the smallest bronzer that I have in my collection as well. So this is by LA Girls. It's just called Bronze Glow. Back on my birthday, which it wasn't like an intention as a birthday gift, but at the beginning of last year, one of the ladies I work with had mentioned that she had some makeup that she was going to give to me because she just hasn't worn makeup in the last 3 years or so, and she has no intention on starting again. So she decided to give me a bunch of makeup. I had a bag full of the stuff. I went through it, sorted out, got rid of stuff that I just didn't want to use or was a little bit too old for me. But I did keep a lot of it. Some of it is just like eyeliners and stuff, so you're not going to see any of that. But this was one of those bronzers, and I figured why not keep it around. I've never tried LA Colors, and it is a bronzer that I do want to like work on and get out of my collection, so I do want to finish this one. I haven't used it yet. I haven't done anything with this one, so I am going to work on this in 23. And I would like to finish it off hopefully before the end of that year, this year, next year, whatever year it is when I'm posting this. But this is the first bronzer that I'm showing you guys. The next one is one that I am currently working on. So if you watch my projects or anything like that, if you watch my channel, you would have seen this Clinique bronzer. So this is what she's looking like. Ooh, there has been some use on this one. I do feel like it's a little bit too orange for me for this time of year, but I'm going to continue to work on it for a little bit longer, and I can pair it with other bronzers and just kind of tone it down a bit. The next bronzer, I'm unsure about what I want to do with this one. So this is by Ofra, and it's the bronzer duo in River. So this is a split pan, and I like the fact that it's a split pan and that half of it's a shimmer, half of it's matte, but it's a little bit too deep for me. I don't know if it's going to be too deep for me come summertime, but once I had opened this and I took a peek at it, I knew that there was no way I was going to wear this one, at least right now. But I don't know if I want to wait until the summer to see if it's going to match me. So there is a possibility that I am going to pass this one along because I really don't know how much use I would get out of it. But a bronzer that I do know is going to be a summer bronzer for me is this one by Bobbi Brown, and this is in the shade Beach. So this is a shimmer bronzer, and that is why it is a summer bronzer for me. I just don't really like a shimmer bronzer to begin with, but if I am going to wear one, and I do want to get used on this because I've had it for quite a while, I'm only going to wear them in the summertime. And then last but not least, I have the Marc Jacob Omega bronzers, but I have 4 of them. Now I have 2 of them out here to show you guys because this one is 102 Tantric, and this one is 104 Tantastic. And the other 2 that I have in the drawer are 104 Tantastic, so I didn't feel like I needed to break them out. So I'm gonna show you guys both of these bronzers. I have not used them whatsoever yet. I've been waiting to narrow down my collection before I get to doing that. So this is what Tantric looks like. And then 102 Tantastic. I think that one was, I had a mini and I liked how it looked on me, and I wore it this time of year and it fit me pretty well. So I feel like the Tantastic one right here would be a good winter shade for me, even though when I compared the 2, this one was still slightly deeper, which I didn't think was at first, but that's this one. So I'm kind of ready to just start using these ones pretty soon. I'm hoping this is going to be the year. So if I can get a few of those bronzers I showed you knocked out of my collection, then I can just focus on these and use those for quite a while. That's not to say I'm not going to purchase any new bronzers, but I just want to make these like my main bronzers. That was my intention in purchasing them as well. So those were my bronzers. Next, we're going to move on to blushes, but the ones that I'm going to show you guys first, I have depotted them, put them into here, but they are more than likely, or at least one of them, going to be used as a bronzer. So this is Stylish by MAC, and this is Dallas by Benefit. So this just came as a single. And then this one, Dallas, it came in, I don't have it with me, but it came in one of those like cheerleader cheek star palettes by Benefit. I don't know if it was the very first one that they put out. They've had a few since then. I think they still have a couple that are out, but it's the one and only that I've had. So out of that palette, there was Dallas, Hula, Dandelion, Rockateur, and Coralista, and then it came with the little brush. The only ones that I have left is Dallas and Dandelion, which you'll see in just a minute. So I finished off the other 3. These are the last 2 hanging on, so I do want to get some use on these ones. But like I said, Dallas is going to be used as a bronzer because that's not a blush for me. I don't know. I feel like the intention of this is supposed to be a blush, but there's no way that I could make that work as a blush. MAC, I was going to try and use that as a bronzer too, but I feel like this shade is just a little bit too red. Unless I tried to mix them, I could maybe use them both as a bronzer, but I feel like I might be able to get away with that as a blush. We'll have to see how I'm feeling about these later on. But I wanted to show these first because I figured it was a good segue into my blushes. They are blushes, but I may use those as bronzers. And if I do, I'm still going to keep them in my blushes category just because technically that's what they are. So the other 2 that I have are in here. Again, it's another MAC and Benefit. So we have the Dandelion shade that I was just telling you guys about. There is a little bit of a crack in here. And then this is Love Cloud by MAC. So again, this came from that palette that I depotted and used up, minus those 2 shades, and then this came as a single. So let's not break anything. So I wish the MAC ones were magnetic. They're not, and so they're jumping all over the place. I'll try and hold it like this. When I do reach for this, which is very rare, I like to use the 2 of them together because they are not too far off. Like, you can see a difference. The MAC one is this one. On camera, they look super similar. In person, the MAC one is just a little bit more of like a baby pink, but I really like them both, so I use them together when I can. But those two I really enjoy. So now I have these organizers that I'm just going to kind of go through. This is where I like to keep my makeup, these little compacts. They fit perfectly in there. So we're going to go through the rest of my blushes. So first we have this mini by NARS. This is in Goulet. I got this as a rouge gift a few years ago. You can see that I still have the plastic in there. Have not used, actually no, that's a lie. I used this for the very first time. I tapped my brush very lightly and I used this one Christmas morning. So this has the tiniest amount of use on it, whereas this one by NARS is in the shade Deep Throat. I had this in a project, so you can see the pan that I've had on here. I have taken a break, but I would like to finish this one off at some point. I do enjoy this one. I really like how it looks. I feel like it's too similar to Orgasm. There really isn't too much of a difference. I don't have the mini of that one anymore, but I enjoy this one. Another mini that I have is by Laura Mercier. I got this as a little travel size or sample or something like that. This is in the shade Rose. I think I've lightly tapped my brush into this one time as well. So I did enjoy that one. Next, I have the Clinique Cheek Pop. This one is in Pansy Pop. I wanted to find a lavender blush, so I came across this one. Haven't used it yet. I've swatched it, but I haven't put it on my cheeks yet. So I would like to see that happen. And then I have one more of those cheek pops, and this is in Pink Honey Pop. Again, haven't used it, but I really like the shade, so I'm excited to start to reach for this one at some point as well. Next, I have a couple Tarte blushes. This is a mini that was a Rewards. Don't know what I got it in or where it ever came from, but this is in the shade Quirky. I love Tarte blushes so much. I've had quite a few. I've gone through quite a few. And I also have the one in Celebrated. So this one has had some use on it because the pattern has been worn away, but I really like how just very light and plain and like light natural it is. That's the word I'm looking for. I can use this to blend out other blushes if it's too much, and it doesn't take away too much from those blushes. This blush is my Too Faced Pop It On Peach, which I absolutely love. If you've heard me talk about it in videos, you can see the pan that I've hit on there. I did pull this back into another project, so I would like to expand the pan, but I love this thing so much, and it still smells like peaches. This blush, on the other hand, this is the Natasha Denona Mini Bloom. It's way too shimmery for me. I have swatched this, but I have not actually used it on my face. So it might be different if I put it on, but this is definitely a summertime blush. So maybe this summer I will try and get some use on that one. This is by The Balm. It's the one and only that I have. This is called Down Boy, and it is this lovely pink, which is very, very similar and close to the other two that I showed you from Benefit and MAC. So I have used the three of them together just to get a little bit of use on this because I don't ever really reach for it. This blush by Too Faced, this is the Love Flush blush in Baby Love. If you watched, no, I think I had it in, it was on my Instagram account. My face palette for 21 was the actual pan or the palette of these blushes. I loved this shade so much that I went out and bought a full size, but I noticed that it's not quite the same. So I really haven't reached for this one too much lately, but I do want to start working on it again. And then I have this ColourPop blush in Tearing Up My Heart. I've worn away the pattern on this. Again, just like Celebrated from Tarte, I like to use this mixed with my Pop It On Peach blush just to tone it down a little bit if I go a little bit too heavy-handed. I like to have the peach, I love peach tone blushes. I think I'm actually wearing Pop It On Peach today. But I like to have like a lighter tone just to kind of tone things down if I need to, blend them out a little bit more. So I like that I have this to do that with, or just wear it on its own. And then this one is the Elva Flower Blusher by Udenzai, and this is in Water Lily. Now I lightly tapped my brush into this one as well. So you know what? Maybe this is what I wore on Christmas. I redid my makeup, so I probably wore this one in the afternoon for when I went for dinner. Again, very lightly tapped my blush in there, and there was quite a bit of pigment, so I know I'm not going to really need a whole lot of that one. So that one's going to be around for a while. So those are my blushes, and now let's get into one of my favorites ever, which is highlighters. So we're gonna start off with, I have a couple singles here. So this is by Tarte, and this is the Goddess Glow. So this is what she looks like. This was like a birthday highlighter for a few years, but I've decided that I want to use it more than just on my birthday. These highlighters in here are my newest. These are by Bitter Lace Beauty, and my goodness, I have not stopped reaching for these since I got them. So this top one here, they are both the Diamond Transformers, I believe, and this one is in White Diamond. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to swatch them to show you guys because they're just way too beautiful. And this one is in Princess Cut. So this is like a split pan. So we're gonna just kind of swirl my fingers together. Like, look at those. They're so pretty. They are a little chunkier, but I honestly don't care. Like, they're just the most beautiful thing ever. Like I said, I haven't stopped. My hands are covered in glitter now, but I'm okay with that. I haven't stopped using those since I got them. I love them so much. And then in the Sydney Grace palette, I have a Sydney Grace highlighter. This is Pumpkin Spice Latte PSL Extra Whip. So I was close. So next we have another little organizer here we're going to go through. This is a Becca highlighter, which I really enjoy their highlighters. This one is in Moonstone, and I've gone through many of these already, but I ended up purchasing a couple more when they were closing out. I kept one of the Moonstone ones for myself, gave away the other one for a Christmas gift, and then I have two of the Vanilla Quartz, which I also purchased around the same time. I'll just show you guys this one because, like I said, they're both exactly the same. And this one, I feel like it has a little bit of a purple shift to it. I haven't actually worn it yet, but I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm really excited to eventually reach for that one as well. So once I get that back in the container. All right, so next I have a Catrice highlighter. This is in O2 Supreme Rose Beam. Beautiful. This is beautiful. I don't know if they have others because where I picked this up at Shoppers, they only had the one kind, but it is so pretty. As you can see, I've really worn away at this, and I'm excited to start reaching for it again. I loved how it looked on the skin. And because I was really into the whole lavender thing for a little while, I picked up this Melt Blush in Electra. This is a blush light. So I have worn this one a few times. You can see how powdery it is, but it is very powdery. So I haven't really reached for it too much. I would still love that whole monochromatic lavender look. Hence also why I had the blush. I would like to reach for this more. I just don't like how powdery it is. And then what else I have by Melt is these Digital Dust Blush Duos. So this one is in Raw Honey, which was not the original one that I wanted, but it was the first one that I picked up. I would probably either wear this swirled together or wear this as a blush and this as a highlight, because there's no way I can wear that one as a highlight. If I swirl them together, it would still be a blush for me. And then the one that I did originally want, I was able to eventually pick up, and this one is in Buzzkill. So again, I would probably wear these as a blush if they were swirled together, or if I was only wearing this shade. But this shade alone, I would probably wear just as a highlighter. It might be a little bit too peachy for that on my skin tone, but I would manage to make it work one way or another. My beloved Benefit highlighter in Cookie. I love this thing so much. You can see I have Hit Pan on there, and that was just recently. I love this so much. I won a giveaway from Emily and Max, and you were able to pick any product, anything you wanted that was up to a certain value. Could have been clothing, could have been a book, could have been makeup, literally anything. And I had been wanting this for such a long time, but for some reason just never bit the bullet myself. So this is what I asked for. She shipped it to me. I am so thankful, so grateful, because I love this thing so much. So I do have another highlighter here. This one's by Ofra. This is in Cloud 9, and this was a Nikki Tutorials collab. I think this is so pretty. It's like a pink to peach duochrome. It is super pretty. I've worn it a few times. So we're gonna pull out the other organizer, and we're gonna start at the front, which this is by Aether Beauty. This is the Supernova Crushed Diamond in Pink Diamond Dust. So I got this, like, I think when they were changing their name, they took the E out, I think it was. So you can see some use in there. So I got this like half price, which was just awesome. So I really enjoyed wearing this. I wore it for quite a while after I first purchased it. Another one that I really enjoyed was this Nabla highlighter in Ozone. It's like a baked gelée formula, I think, but you can see some of the usage in the middle of the pan there. I do want to start reaching for this one as well too, because I just like look at how pretty that is. I love this thing. So I do have, technically this is a highlighter. This is Pink Moon by Melt. This is a blush light. No, this is a digital dust highlighter. I purchased this to use as a blush because of the shade, but it's a little bit too, I don't think I could use it as a blush, maybe a blush topper, but it's way too deep for me to wear this as a highlighter. So it doesn't look like it on camera. That actually looks, well, yeah, it kind of does. Not at that angle, but we'll see. I haven't quite worn it yet. I've just watched it a few times. So I'm not quite sure how I want to work this product, but I'll get there. I'll figure it out. A highlighter that I do really love is by Melt. This is the Flex highlighter in Lit. Now this one was super powdery as well, but I've worn away the embossment in here. I just love reaching for this. Again, it's been quite a while since I have, but I really enjoy wearing this one. Another highlighter is by Stila. This one is like that putty texture. So this is the Heaven's Hue highlighter in the shade Kitten. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this. I pulled it into a project. I used it the 10 times. I do like how it looks on the skin. I just don't like applying it with the brush, but I don't like applying things with my fingers. So I'm gonna hold this in my collection for a while still. I don't know if I'm actually going to get rid of it anytime soon, but if I was to, this may be one that kind of eventually leaves. I do have another Ofra highlighter here. This one is in Retrograde. So this is the Split Pan. I can't quite remember the name of this one, but this is Nebula. Again, purple highlighter I was looking for. So I ended up picking up this one. And I think, well, when you swirl them together, this one I will keep because I do like the highlighter, the purple highlighter in here. And then last but not least, I have my Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter. This is an 01 Fair. This is beautiful. I think I've worn this a few times. I've been debating purchasing 02, which is light medium, because I think that one might suit me better in the summertime, but I'm not quite sure. But I don't know. I think right now I'm just going to stick with this one. I really enjoy this highlighter. It is super pretty, and I love how it looks on my skin. So that is everything for this video, this first installment of my makeup collection. Let me know if you have any of these below or down below. Let me know which ones of these you enjoy if you do have them, which ones don't you like. But yeah, stay tuned for the second part, which is going to be up shortly. That's going to be my face palette. So like I said, that's anything that is going to be a duo plus. I'm really excited to get into that one. And that's it for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all later. Bye.